The College of Winterhold is usually an institution most players flock to join upon starting a new game. The promise of learning more about magic and to potentially become the Archmage act as powerful incentives. However, there are some dark secrets about the college that might make you think twice before becoming a student. The Augur of Dunlane is a mystical and ambiguous figure, a spectral blue orb situated in the midden beneath the college. The player can consult him to learn more about restoration or to learn the location of the Staff of Magnus. However, this being, hidden and scarcely talked about by the staff at the college, may have been at the heart of the Great Collapse, the cataclysmic event that saw 2/3 of Winterhold fall into the depths of the Sea of Ghosts. What's more, it could well be that the collapse was far from accidental and instead orchestrated by the mages at the college 80 years ago. Let's begin by delving into what is known about the Augur of Dunlane. An Augur is a title associated with Roman sages who used to predict the future using bones, blood, and other matter. The only culture in the Elder Scrolls universe known to practice something similar are the Forsworn of the Reach. And as it turns out, Dunlane is a town near the Reach, so the identity of the spiritual blue orb would seem to be some sort of forsworn sage from the Reach who perhaps came to the college to enhance his powers. This provenance would suggest that the Augur was possibly quite powerful, at least latently, if not actually. In relation to the Great Collapse, the bones and blood strewn near the Augur of Dunlane seem to substantiate the rumour that he was transformed from a man into his current form after unsuccessfully trying to increase his power in a ritual. Maybe it was this failed ritual that caused the Great Collapse. I mean, the ritual certainly must have been very powerful to transform an entire human being into the immortal blue pool that now exists as the Augur of Dunlane. But it could be the case that the Augur of Dunlane's actions were not independent. Rather, an individual, such as the Archmage at the time, might have pushed the Augur of Dunlane to perform this ritual, knowing it would cause something like the Great Collapse. Simply look at what the college gained from the disaster. In a letter, the Archmage of the institution, at the time of the Great Collapse, tells the Jarl that after the Oblivion Crisis and the eruption of Red Mountain, there was significant anti-mage sentiment, because it was after all a group of mages in the secretive mythic dawn that caused the Oblivion Crisis in the first place. Maybe the college felt threatened. Winterhold was an expanding town where most people dislike and distrusted the college, especially after Dark Elf refugees such as Savos Aaron himself, the current Archmage, became students at the institution. The college's future would certainly be much more secure if the population of the city was curtailed, its influence and superiority in numbers reduced. Although the college may have lots of skilled mages, if thousands of annoyed and patriotic Nords stormed the gates, then could they have really been stopped? Another obvious clue that points to the college's involvement in the collapse is that the college was conveniently and mysteriously left standing, whilst the city surrounding it crumbled away into the sea. Moreover, although some have suggested that the collapse was down to an earthquake caused by the eruption of Red Mountain, even though that was over 100 years before the collapse, it seems highly suspicious that Skyrim's only affected area was specifically Winterhold. Windhelm, Solitude, Dawnstar, nothing is recorded about any earthquakes or tremors at that time in those places. Additionally, Archmage Deneth, who was the Archmage at the time of the Great Collapse, seems to have sent a subtly threatening letter to the Jarl of Winterhold, and this adds to the sense that the Great Collapse was orchestrated by the college out of a need of self-preservation. Specifically, the Archmage comments, "I do not wish to see our relationship crumble as Winterhold has, as I assure you the college will remain here a very, very long time." It could be that the college had absolutely no role in the collapse, but I do personally think that the Archmage Deneth and the college in general was somehow involved, because it seems like they are so infatuated with keeping the college alive. And of course they would deny any wrongdoing, such as how Savos Aaron has, because to admit that they were involved would invoke the wrath of the local Nords, who might not be a massive problem but would certainly be an annoyance. Yet without a confession or more solid proof, we will never know if the college did have a hand in the collapse. But nonetheless, maybe you'll think twice before joining this suspicious institution in your next Skyrim playthrough, unless you're a psychopath and don't care about the institution's shady past. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.